We left Reno at first light, driving into November rain. We were headed for 4 days exploring California's Central Coast. Caves, cliffs, coastal beauty, and a birthday celebration. First stop, Pinnacles National Park, wrapped in low clouds and steady rain. All right, made it to Pinnacles National Park in the rain.
And it is out here.
Black-tailed deer grazed along the roadside, unconcerned with the weather. We ate lunch in the car, then grabbed our jackets for the Moses Spring Loop. The trail followed the gully, wet rock, green moss, and rain tapping through the canyon. Then Bear Gulch Cave. Flashlights ready, heads down, twisting below the rock. Massive boulders settled into place over centuries, creating a network of passages that pique curiosity and demand caution. Part hike, part spelunking, part reminder that some experiences are hidden unless you're willing to go looking. And then, you step back into the open. Mist, quiet, and almost total solitude. Hey, we're out here at Pinnacles National Park in California. We just went through the Bear Gulch Caves. Super cool, dark, it's wet and drizzly.
But there were stairs and handrails, so that was awesome.
In portions, absolutely. It was great. Pinnacles surprised us. Rugged, beautiful, and absolutely worth the detour. We rolled into San Luis Obispo, or Slow, as evening settled in. Rain softened, string lights glowed, and shop windows cast warm reflections across the wet pavement. There's something comforting about a town that stays inviting even when the weather turns wet and chilly. Dinner at Giuseppe's was exactly what the day called for. Brick walls, house-made pasta, and an atmosphere that feels delightful. Lasagna built in careful layers, tagliatelle bolognese with slow-cooked ragu, warm artisan bread that kept arriving, the way all good road trip days should end, full, grateful, and a little tired. The next morning brought clear skies and Stephanie's birthday. We started at Kreuzberg, a cafe with Berlin inspiration and California slow vibes. Strong coffee, breakfast sandwiches, and the ambient buzz of people easing into their day. Before heading to the coast, we grabbed a picnic lunch from High Street Deli and stocked up supplies at Natural Foods Co-op. Lunch was enjoyed on the beach at Spooner's Cove in Montaña de Oro State Park as waves pounded the shore. The sound of the ocean fills every corner of this place. Loud, relentless, beautiful. We climbed out on some rocks, surrounded by water, just to take it all in. From there, we hiked the bluff trail. This coastline doesn't ask for your attention, it just takes it. Steep cliffs, choppy waters, wind carrying salt straight into your hair. The trail follows the edge of the Pacific, expansive views out over the ocean, cliffs, water, and sky. You can feel intentional design here, creation shaped with power and precision, beauty that's bold. Late afternoon brought us to Morro Bay. Ice plants spread across the dunes, revealing pops of color and glowing with beauty in the afternoon light. Morro Rock rose into the sky like a monument, a 576-foot volcanic plug, the ancient core of an old volcano still commanding the horizon many years later. The shoreline was busy with coastal birds, cormorants, curlews, pelicans, and sandpipers. We walked the beach with that warm feeling you get when the day has already given you its best and still has more to offer. Early evening pulled us back into slow with a stroll through Mission Plaza, surrounding the 18th century Mission San Luis Obispo, and past the local shops along Higuera Street, where brick storefronts and overhanging trees gave the evening a comfortable, relaxed character. We drove south along the coast for dinner at Ember, wood-fired, warmly lit, perfect for a birthday celebration. Scallops on leeks and winter squash puree, chicken cooked under a brick, and their signature toasted marshmallow cocoa cake, worth every bite. This was a memorable meal for a special occasion. Morning brought more rain, so we visited Scout Coffee, cappuccinos, laptops, and the steady hum of a warm cafe, while the drizzle softened the world outside. From there, we drove through Cal Poly and north to Paso Robles, down wet streets to lunch at Finca. Baja-style fish tacos and burritos on the wraparound patio under a heat lamp. Then Eberle Winery, set among the vineyards, where we enjoyed a free tasting and friendly conversation at the bar. We moved from whites to reds, but the standout was the Steinbeck Syrah, winner of the 2025 Pacific Rim Gold Medal. By late afternoon, we reached Monterey. Cool air, stronger wind, a harbor full of life. Cannery Row still carries its industrial bones, softened by coastal shops and memory. It's easy to imagine Steinbeck walking these same paths, listening to the rhythm of tide and work. Down by the shore, a sea lion relaxed on the rocks, entirely unbothered. At Old Fisherman's Wharf, we watched the sea lion swim and play beneath the pier, loud, joyful, endlessly entertaining. Dinner was the comfort food we craved. Deep dish pizza at Heirloom Pizza Company, warm and hearty after a long, cold day. The next morning, we drove south along Highway 1 into Big Sur. Many roads are scenic. This one feels crafted for wonder. Bixby Bridge arched across the canyon, built in 1932, elegant without trying, holding its place above the surf. We continued along the coast to Garrapata State Park, where we walked the path along the cliffs, watching waves slam against stone in bursts of white energy. This coastline reveals something new with every curve: stone, surf, sky, a beauty that doesn't fade with repetition. Rain found us again at Point Lobos, softening edges and deepening color. Sea otters played among the floating kelp. Harbor seals rested on the shore. Pelicans swept overhead. Bird Island sat in the rainy mist, quiet and rugged against the cool water and gray light. China Cove glowed a surreal green, mesmerizing in the rain. We hiked portions of the South Shore Trail, Bird Island Trail, China Cove, Gibson Beach, Sea Lion Point. Point Lobos feels like stepping into a dramatic coastal painting, vivid, textured, unmistakably alive. We ended the trip in Carmel-by-the-Sea, a town that looks like it stepped out of a storybook but stayed grounded in reality. The sky cleared, streets shimmered with after-storm light, coffee and banana bread at Mad Dogs and Englishmen warmed us back up. We wandered down the sidewalks to find brunch at Pangea. Crab cake Benedict, huevos rancheros, and a warm atmosphere of arched windows, white tablecloths, and colorful artwork. Then we continued to explore the town, brick walkways, ivy-covered walls, mossy rooftops, and small courtyards filled with flowers and light. Carmel invites you to slow down, wander, and notice the details. When we finally reached the beach, white sand, cold water, long horizon, it felt like the perfect finale to a weekend that kept giving. The 6-hour drive back to Reno gave us time to reflect. The caves and cliffs, the meals, the wildlife, the shifting weather, the power of the sea, and the joy of experiencing all of it together. 4 days on the Central Coast reminded us of something simple. The world is full of beauty worth noticing, deliberate, layered, generous, and it's good for the soul to step into it now and then.